What are you referring to?
Well, you were there, I wasn't, right?
Well, what are you referring to?
I'm referring to her having some good marks.
What are you referring to?
Marks that were left on her by you.
This is Adam Montgomery, a father who has plenty to say to police as long as none of it is about his missing daughter.
So somebody, you telling him, and then he tells you, and then he tells you, so something that just gets passed down the line.
You don't recall your daughter ever having a mark on her face?
But what Adam doesn't realize is that silence can be just as loud as a confession. And the more he refuses to talk about his missing daughter, the harder it becomes to ignore what he's really hiding.
I'm not saying anything else.
Why is it that you refuse to talk about her every time we bring her up?
Because you guys are just sitting here beating a bush.
On December 31st, 2021, police in Manchester, New Hampshire, made a public plea for help finding a 7-year-old girl named Harmony Montgomery. Nobody had physically seen her for over 2 years, and all the answers eventually led straight to the one person, her father, Adam Montgomery. Officers tracked Adam down in a parked car at Wolf Park in Manchester. At that point, police just needed to know where Harmony was so they could check on her and make sure she was safe. But Adam did not give them the reaction of a worried father, which was enough to make the police suspicious. Later that day, police found Adam again and served him with a court order. 5 days later, he was arrested on charges connected to Harmony's welfare. Detectives finally had the chance to ask the question Adam had spent days avoiding. Where was Harmony Montgomery?
Before we go forward, can we get a cigarette in here?
So we met before, right? We met the other day. I know you've had a long time down here. You've kind of been a roller coaster. I'm going to apologize for what happened out there. That's not how I do business, okay? That had nothing to do with me. Those are guys that like to play G.I. Joe, all right? If it had been up to me and I could have gotten a hold of you some way, I would have reached out to you. But you don't have a phone, right?
Or you guys could have just told my wife you wanted me to come in.
But aren't you not supposed to be talking to your wife?
No, that's bull.
It's not. You're not supposed to?
No, I can't be.
Thank you. Look at that.
I can't be.
I guess they're gonna let you smoke a cigarette here. They must have talked to somebody.
So I don't know who's saying I can't talk to my wife because that's bull.
Maybe it's some old paperwork that somebody saw?
Yeah, from last year, but it was over and done with after I got out of jail.
So that's all clear?
DCYF said it was cleared up, the police said it was cleared up, everybody said it was cleared. They said that there was no contact order between me and her.
Okay, and that's Kayla we're talking about. Let's talk about why we're here to talk.
Tell me what you want to say.
Tell me what you know.
I don't know nothing.
Well, what was our conversation about the other day?
You said you had a couple questions you wanted to ask me. Yeah, ask me the questions.
Well, what was our conversation about the other day?
When Harmony was born in 2014, her parents Adam and Crystal were no longer together. Adam was incarcerated, leaving Crystal with custody, but within months, neglect concerns led to Harmony entering foster care. For 4 years, she moved through the child welfare system. Then in 2019, Adam was awarded full custody despite limited supervised contact with his daughter. By then, Adam was living in New Hampshire with his wife Kayla. Both struggled with substance abuse, often trading SNAP benefits for drugs, and faced mounting financial pressure. Now, sitting across from detectives, Adam seemed convinced he could talk his way through the interview. He was wrong.
I know you're worried about the well-being of your daughter, and I kind of want to get ahead of this because I don't want you to be painted as a monster.
Well, that's what you guys are already doing.
I am?
No, we're not.
Oh, yeah.
Can you explain that to me?
That's what you guys are already trying to do, man.
Explain to me how I'm trying to make you, or whoever is trying to make you out to be a monster. Who's telling you that stuff? Is there somebody that I work with that told you that? Somebody you're close with, that they told you that?
No.
All right. But you understand this whole thing is getting a little out of hand, would you agree?
Of course. But
so that's why...
Look, it's just the way you guys are going about it.
And again,
yeah, not you specifically, but right. Yeah, nobody comes out there like that for a second-degree assault charge. Nobody. Been arrested for worse charges. They don't come out and throw flashbangs at my girlfriend's car and ram us into the guardrail. They don't do that for a second-degree assault charge.
Again, you understand what the charges are, right?
Second degree assault, right?
Yep.
Okay,
There's also an endangering the welfare charge
okay.
and interference with custody. Okay,
So how did I interfere with custody?
so that paperwork that we served you the other day, you remember that?
Okay,
When they were in the alleyway, remember outside of on Lake Ave?
yeah.
There's paperwork that you have to comply with. You understand that, right? We had that conversation, did we not? Right? So that's what that's all about.
So second degree assault charge, what is this referring to?
Well, that's what we want to talk to you about.
Well, explain to me what, if I'm being charged with it, what the hell am I being charged with it for?
Well, your daughter had some injuries
What?
that you know about when you lived on Guilford Street.
No, I do not. What are you referring to?
Well, you were there, I wasn't, right?
What are you referring to?
I'm referring to her having some good marks.
What are you referring to?
Marks that were left on her by you.
Absolutely not. I have nothing else to say.
One big reason detectives were skeptical of Adam's explanations was his past life. His criminal record stretched back years. He had multiple violent offenses, drug-related crimes, and weapons charges under his name. On top of that, investigators were also beginning to hear troubling stories from people who knew the family personally. One of those people was Adam's uncle, Kevin Montgomery. According to Kevin, he had witnessed injuries on Harmony, including a black eye. He was forced to raise concerns to child welfare authorities after Adam allegedly admitted to striking her. Despite those reports, Harmony remained in Adam's custody.
We talked about how we were worried about your daughter the other day, right?
Okay.
You remember that conversation?
I remember that conversation, but right off the rip, with the way you're approaching the conversation, you guys are completely out of line, so,
Me?
yeah.
Do I? In the time that you've known me, which
What
is...
you just said to me, you guys are completely out of line.
Okay, but so explain to me, how are we out of line?
I have nothing to explain.
Okay, but wouldn't you rather explain it so we can make sense of it than just have other people's side of the story? Like, you want to defend yourself and like this picture people are painting of you, now's your chance, man. Defend
Whose side of the story? Who's telling you these things?
people that were close to you.
Obviously not.
Well, maybe at the time, maybe not anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw that reward on the news, right?
No, I did not.
Do you know that the reward is about $40,000 to find where your daughter is right now?
Okay.
When you start throwing money around like that, people come out of the woodwork that you would never expect to do.
Okay. Something wrong with my daughter because of me? No, that's bull.
Okay. So if your daughter had marks on her at some point when you lived over there,
That's
how
why.
would you explain those?
How was she got those marks?
Well, I would love to know when that marks were there because DCYF came to my house multiple times.
Okay. And we know that they came there.
Right. And closed the case.
Okay. Do we know that DCYF is the flagship agency in the country?
No, but if there was significant marks like you're referring to, I believe they would have flagged something at that point and they would have said something. They wouldn't have came there and seen that the kids were well taken care of. All the kids loved being at the house with me.
So let me tell you about what second degree assault is. Because there's a lot that encompasses that charge. Basically, if there's a mark on a kid that's under a certain age, it constitutes second degree assault. Although it is a felony, which sounds extremely intimidating, it doesn't mean that somebody got their head bashed in or they got cut up or whatever. So, although it sounds pretty intimidating, the charge, I understand that. What we're talking about doesn't mean that it's the craziest crime that's ever been committed. Do you understand what I mean?
Okay.
So somebody could have a bruise or a really bad welt on them, and that would constitute second degree assault for a kid under a specific age. So that's why that charge is there. So nobody is saying that you took like a baseball bat or like stabbed your kid. Like, I'm just gonna put that out there. That is not what anybody's saying about you.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you're concerned with when I say second degree assault, but it sounds a lot worse than I think you're thinking it is. Are we kind of on the same page?
Yeah, but for you to sit there and say that it was inflicted because of me.
We're just going on what we hear. You're not telling us how, so we're going with what we have.
But I don't even know what you're referring to. What are you referring to?
Your daughter had a mark on her face that multiple people, have told us was inflicted by you.
Multiple people that weren't even living with us at the time.
Well, there was enough people that had spoken about it. But this is your time to tell me, kind of explain that. You know, if you're saying this was a mistake or this was an
I don't even know what you're referring to. Like, that's what I'm trying to get at, is I don't even know what you're referring to.
I'm saying she had a mark on her face.
I don't even know what you're referring to.
You don't recall your daughter ever having a mark on her face?
The reason DCYF came out to visit you guys, you don't recall that? Why did DCYF come out and start visiting you guys? What was the allegation?
If I remember correctly, it was because of, I believe at the time, I could be wrong, I believe it had something to do with my uncle saying I was using.
Those accounts painted a picture of a family in crisis. After being evicted from the house, Adam, Kayla, and their children were living out of their car. For Harmony, the beating didn't stop. She often became the target of Adam's anger, particularly because of bathroom accidents that reportedly began during the family's period of homelessness. The more detectives learned about the family's living conditions, the more apparent it became that Adam did not have a good relationship with Harmony. His lack of reaction whenever his daughter was mentioned only added to their suspicions, but this was only the tip of the iceberg. He soon became more agitated and struggled to sit in silence for long.
Who's your uncle, so we are clear?
Kevin.
Okay. And Kevin's last name?
Montgomery.
Now, he lived there with you?
He lived there with me right around the time when I was first going back to get custody from my daughter.
Okay.
And then he left in April, May, March, something around that time.
And whose house was that originally?
My grandmother's.
All right. And grandma is who?
Kevin's mother.
Kevin's mother.
My dad's mother.
Okay. So was it the Montgomery group living over on Guilford Street?
Yeah, and they all moved out. My grandmother moved out in like January with my little brother, and they all moved down to Florida, and then Kevin went a couple months later.
And so grandma, uncle Kevin, you said little brother, and who's he?
My father's son, Michael.
So Michael, that's what I meant. Like, what's his first name?
Yeah, and his girlfriend.
And his girlfriend. And is he still with that same girl now?
I have no idea.
Oh, so you don't talk to Michael anymore?
No. I think we moved over there in like, I don't know, October, September, somewhere around then.
And what year is that?
2018.
Okay.
And at the time, I was going for custody for my daughter for at least a year already at that point. And Crystal was showing no interest of going to get our daughter back. So finally in like, I don't know, December, January, February, something along them lines, courts called me and told me I could come pick her up and bring her home. Brought her home. And then, I don't know, it was, I think the month before, my grandmother left with my brother and his girlfriend, and then the month after, I want to say, Kevin left.
So then who was left living at the house?
Me, Kayla, and the kids.
So what time did DCYF get involved with you guys? Like, were they over there often, or was it just like a certain period of time? Or
they were there every single day. The police showed up every single day, saying they did because that's what it was. That's what it was due. That's what it was due to. So Kevin moved out because between me and my wife and Kevin, we were supposed to like pay the bills, keep the heat on, the gas on, whatever. Well, Kevin was supposed to pay the electric bill. He didn't pay the electric bill. Me and my wife, I picked my wife from work and showed up at home. They were shutting the electricity off. So me and Kevin got into an argument about not paying the bill.
Yeah.
And he took his shit and moved out. And then so the next day, DCY, or 2 days later, something like that, I don't know, DCYF showed up and the police showed up because they said that we were unfit to have the children at the house because there was no electricity in the house.
Okay.
But we had a generator running, we had the fridge hooked up to it, there was food in the fridge, everything was fine. The police showed up, seen that the kids was fine, there was nothing wrong with them. The DCYF showed up and they left.
And was that like summer, fall? Like when was that?
I want to say maybe.
How did it end up that you guys got kicked out of there?
All right, so it was my grandmother's house.
Right.
They didn't pay the mortgage or whatever. They moved to Florida, so the mortgage payments weren't being paid. And I don't know, right around Thanksgiving sometimes, the sheriffs came and threw us out.
And then
me, Harmony, and Declan, Seamus, and Kayla left.
and where the heck did you guys go from there?
We were in our car
Oh, so you lived in your car at that time.
for a couple of days.
So you, Kayla, and the 3 kids were living in the car for a few days, and then how'd you get up out of that situation? Like who took you in, or where'd you guys end up?
We ended up going to her mom's house, Kayla's mom's house.
Okay. And what's her name?
Chris.
Chris. How's she? Well, I mean, she must be okay if she's willing to take you guys in.
Yeah, all right. They're like, all right, I, you know what, man? Like, I don't even want to talk anymore. Like, this is just beating around the bush, man. It just seems a little too silly to me.
By now, Adam had revealed something important without realizing it. He had shown detectives exactly where the pressure point was. He could talk about paperwork. He could talk about his family, his charges, his girlfriend, even the way police were questioning him. But the second the conversation came back to Harmony, Adam's answers got shorter and much harder to believe. If Harmony never made it to Kayla's mother's house as claimed, then the obvious question remained, where did she go?
But yeah, no, but to sit there, man, and sit there and tell me you yourself too, like, this is why I feel like it's just all bullshit. This is just a game. I know it is. I'm not stupid. You fucking.
We're just trying to give you the opportunity to explain yourself.
You're sitting there telling me not to make me out to look like some monster.
Well,
But you told my girlfriend the other day that she should get the fuck away from me. That you don't even know who I am and what my past is like and all types of crazy shit. Like, but sit there and look me in my face.
Adam, I think you're talking about Kelsey.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Kelsey might be exaggerating a little bit.
Right.
But I don't know her to exaggerate like that.
It wasn't us talking to Kelsey either.
Oh,
There was
else.
other people talking to her, just so you know.
She told me, she gave me your card and said this was the guy that said it.
Okay. Well, I'm telling you that I didn't say that. But if you want to believe it, that's fine.
I mean, she never had no reason to lie to me. So I don't know what she would lie about at that point.
She also told me she had no idea that you had a daughter, so I guess we could say the same thing about you telling her that.
Well,
Right?
she knew I had a daughter. I mean, I have one with Kayla, so she knew I had a daughter.
She didn't know about Harmony.
She knew I had other kids.
She told me she had no idea that you ever lived with her and that you barely knew her. I don't know if she was lying to me because or whatever. I have no idea. I don't know her. I know you better than her, so that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to understand. I don't know your timeline of life, man. You're there. I'm not. That's why I'm trying to ask you these questions to clarify them.
I already told you the other day what transpired. So we didn't even go to her mother's house.
Okay. Who didn't go to her mother's house?
Harmony was all.
Okay, so Harmony didn't go to Chris's house. So explain to me how she didn't end up going to Chris's house.
I've already explained this to you.
Okay.
Well, there's some discrepancies between what you're telling us and what other people are telling us. You're saying you brought her down to Mass, that somebody said she came up from Mass.
I never once said I brought it down to Mass.
What did you say? She came up here to get her?
I never once said. I was audio and video recorded the other day. I never once said I went down to Mass.
So you're saying that she came up from Mass?
I I'm not saying anything else.
Why is it that you refuse to talk about her every time we bring her up?
Because you guys are just sitting here beating a bush. It's over and over. You guys asked me what happened the other day. I told you what happened.
You wouldn't tell us the other day.
You guys talked to me the other day. I explained to him what happened the other day, and now it was just a charade. Yep. No, don't worry about it. You're not under arrest, and now come up with some bullshit.
I didn't arrest you.
No, the other day. No, but then you had a fucking SWAT team roll up on me and the D-Techs follow me around for the last 3 days.
Yeah, people are coming out of the woodwork. That's what we're trying to tell you. Like, we don't want you to be painted as a monster. We want you to maybe explain yourself a little bit and give us some side of your story. We have nothing. We have just what we're hearing from people. $40,000 to drag a lot of people out, whether you believe you're friends or not.
No, I bet
it's a lot of money.
Yeah, I know it is. Absolutely it is.
That's what we're trying to get. Now's your time. Like, you keep locking up on us. You don't want to tell us anything about her.
I got nothing else to say.
At this point, the detective knew Adam wasn't going to explain the timeline voluntarily. So instead of letting him keep arguing around the case, he decided to try a different angle.
And if you can tell me that you didn't do anything wrong, then I want to believe you because, dude, I've met you now a few times. I helped you out when you were at the hospital when you were having a meltdown. You told me about your kids. I sat there and I talked to you. Dude, I could have tased you right there, and I didn't do that because I saw deep down inside that you were hurting and that I wanted to help you. Right now, all I'm trying to do is help your daughter. I want to bring her home, and I can't do that without your help. Dude, I can't do that without your help. Hey, can you look at me? Help me, please. That's all I'm asking for. I can't sleep until I know that she's okay. And I know that you know where she is or what happened to her, but I can't do it without your help. And if you don't want to look like this animal, because I don't think you are. Not that I don't think you are, I know you aren't. But I can only do so much for you, man.
I know.
I'm begging you to help me. Because as much as you're hurting inside, I'm also hurting inside, and I don't know how you can sleep at night because I'm sure it's eating the shit out of you. Am I wrong?
I'm not seeing my kids. You guys are just playing games. Like, this is just...
Dude, but I'm not trying...
We're not trying to play games again.
Good.
Like...
telling my wife and kids that I'm not allowed to see my wife and kids. Like...
But dude, that was a mistake from some court paperwork that hadn't been updated. So like I said, I apologize for that.
But it was updated, and DCYF told them...
No. This was some like DV paperwork I'm talking about. You've seen your kid, you've seen your wife and kids over the last how many days, right?
I haven't seen them in the last... I haven't seen my kids in the last 2 days, 3 days.
Okay. You're always going to be their father? Declan, Seamus, and then Sierra, right? Kiera. And then there's Harmony.
I got nothing else to say. That's it. That's it, guys. I got nothing else to say.
Can you make me a promise? Like, man to man? Can you tell me that she's alive?
You're gonna play the same word games that you played with me the other day.
No. It's not word games.
I got nothing else to
We
say.
care, man. We want to know.
This isn't gonna go anywhere. Like, this isn't gonna stop. So
No, it's not.
So either get on the bus now or get run over.
Well, I got nothing else to say.
Why is it you have so much trouble talking about Harmony?
Guys, I got nothing else to say. I want a lawyer with me.
In February 2024, Adam Montgomery was found guilty of second-degree murder and other charges connected to Harmony's death. In May 2024, he was sentenced to a minimum of 56 years in prison, a sentence that effectively ensures he will spend the rest of his life behind bars. Harmony's remains have still not been found. Our hearts go out to Harmony's family, everyone who loved her, and everyone who is still fighting for answers in her name. Do you think Adam's silence in that interview made him look more guilty, or was he too prepared to talk about a crime he committed? Comment down below. Thank you for watching today's video. Don't forget to subscribe and check out one of the craziest cases I've ever covered right here.